How's it going, New World? Sethphir here, and today we are back with another video. I see a lot of people asking me, man, I'm out of gold. How can I afford my house? How can I get this money? And so I wanted to sit down and try to help a lot of people that were maybe struggling at the moment. So I want to show some tips and tricks that will basically help you get that gold flow going in outside of the normal quests, right? So first we'll take a look at that actual quest. So at my level, like 45-ish right now, some of these quests are giving like 100 gold, but they're like main storyline quests, some like 75, right? So a house is quite a lot. It can be anywhere from 5,000 to 20,000 gold. Your first house discount will make that a little bit cheaper, but it can be quite expensive, right? So this is what you're going to want gold for, and also to repair your weapons and stuff like that. There's some other functions that you can do with it, like getting gear and things, but we'll go ahead and take a look at like kind of the first section here. So like, how are you going to make gold, right? So we went over this a little bit in some previous videos, but we'll kind of touch on it. But basically, the things that people want most right now are listed on the town board. It's actually quite obvious, right? Like most people are using the town board to level. It's a very good leveling resource, and it will kind of get you there fast, right? So when I take a look at this town board and I see certain things here, I know that these are going to be items that are going to be used in leveling. So they might be something that would be like sold on the auction house, right? So if I am going to need these, and other people are going to need these as well. So, you know, take a look at some of these materials. You can scoop around and kind of see what may be good for you, what may not be good for you. But getting a good list of those like town board items will really help you out. And then here's where you really want to get into things, right? So you want to head over to the auction house, and you want to basically take a look here. Quick breakdown, there's three functionalities, right? There's the buy tab, the sell tab, and the orders tab. And the orders tab will just tell you what you have sold or what you have like placed a buy order for and things like that, right? So when I go to an item, right, like into the top right now I'm looking at all items in Everfall auction house, but if you click this drop down box on the right side here, you can see all settlements. So I could get a good idea on the price for all settlements instead of just one. So if I want to type out something simple that's very useful like iron ore, I can then take a look here at the prices for iron ore everywhere, right? And there are two options on this when I'm looking at an item. I can place a sell order or I can place a buy order. And a sell order can be, I can list this at whatever I want to sell this at, right? So for me, if I want to sell iron ore, I can say 88 is the lowest that I see here. All right, I'm going to put all my auction or my iron ore in the auction house for 88, right? 0.88, sorry. And then I'll make some money that way. But the best one you can do here, and in my opinion, something that's really good, is going to be the buy order. So right now there's a buy order for 0.46 on iron ore. So what I could do is I could set that to match, and then I could set a quantity. So like, let's say I want 500 iron ore, right? That's going to cost me 237 gold down here, and that's just accounting for the cost of all these items at this price, right? Then I can set the duration on the buy order, and this is important because it will lower this fee down a little bit. As you can see, there's a 720 fee down there. If I put it to 3 days, it'll go down a tiny bit. So if you're doing singular items, it's good to do, as you will save a lot of gold. But for bulk stacks, it won't matter too much, to be honest. So setting a buy order for good ingredients is really good to do. So something like firm fish fillets would be a good idea to set a buy order at, because as you can see, these are selling for 25 in the market. It's quite high. I could set a buy order for, since nothing is there and these are used on the town board to turn in, right? I could set a buy order for like 2 gold, right? And I've done this. And I'll say I want to buy 400 of them. I don't know how much. Let's do a more reasonable amount. 200 of them, right? That's 200 gold. And I'll change this down to 3 days. So it's going to cost me 203 gold to get 100 firm fish fillets. As soon as I sell or I buy these, like when people sell them to me, if they want to get quick cash, then I can go ahead and flip that and turn it around and I can sell that for 25, 30. This is the cheapest on the market, because sometimes people just go through and they're like, all right, buy, let me just complete this quest real fast, right? And I could even offer it even cheaper if I wanted to, just to make sure that it sells faster or whatever the item may be on the market. So these are going to be really good things to do, right? So you can snoop around here and you can see a lot of resources. Like you can sort by certain types here. You can also sort by perks. So if you're looking for something like oh, I want this bloodletting ability, I want my bleeds to apply longer, you could do that. Or if you're looking for like a chain fire ability, you can search for items with the chain fire perk and it'll pop up here. You can kind of click it out and find items that are decent of your level. You can also sort by like gear score and things like that. So let's say I want to find the highest gear score item on the market, then I can go ahead and sort by that. I can further limit it down by like a certain socket and a certain weight class of armor, right? So I'm like, okay, I only want heavy armor, so get what's the biggest heavy piece up there. And this is another thing too, is when you go to place items in the auction house, you need to place items up here, especially items around your level that look good for classes different than yours, right? So if I get, let's take a look through some of these helmets, like this helmet right here, right? Let's say I find this, but I'm a mage. I might want to sell this because it's got 14 constitution on it, and that means some tank may want that, right? So in this instance, this guy's selling it for 75, and 75 is a decent amount. Like, that's not a bad deal, but if this were to sell, like, that's basically he completed a quest automatically, right? Another good thing to do is, like, weak health potions. So just look at, like, common materials that people are looking for. You can kind of place, like, a buy order on these potions, and you see there's sell orders. People are selling them at 0.10, so I could place a buy order for even cheaper and maybe resell. So that's probably a good way to kind of make some money on the market, because remember, outside of this right here, these quests, the only way to get gold is RNG. Like, a mob randomly drops you 5 gold, right? Or whatever that may be. It's not a very high number. It's between like 4 and like 8 or something like that, depending on the level. So there's really no other way to get resources like that. So take a look at your storage. Like here, I got tons of things setting around, and things that will sell really well is things like tannin and sand flux, crossweave, and solvent, because these are all ingredients that people need, but you yourself would need them. So if I were to go to this auction house and look up tannin, I bet you there would be a lot of buy orders for this, right? So if I look at tannin, oh man, how do I spell that? We'll find it eventually. There it is. Okay. So we can go to place a buy order for this, and I do see that there are already current buy orders for tannin. So people are trying to buy this up and resell it at a higher price. So that's how the market is working right now, because all the gold that's coming into the market is coming from new players questing, right? So every new player that quests is going to be pushing gold into the market, and especially if they're running out of these resources to kind of refine their materials, because they're going to need to level up their skills and make higher things, and it starts taking tannin every time you use every time you make like rugged leather or something, right? So you need the tannin in order to create the rugged leather, and you will run out of this. Like, as you saw in my inventory, I had like 10, right? So I'd run out. So what I would suggest doing is placing buy orders for this stuff, and it depends on your, again, you need to go up here and at the top right, go for all settlements, because you can kind of see what that buy order is going to be, and then you can understand what to put that price at, right? So again, I'll search here. I want to see the lowest buy order. So the lowest buy order is 0.29. So I have to offer, or sorry, 0.27. So, or the best buy order. So I need to offer at least this much for people to probably consider selling that item to me. But if I do place that there, then they would sell this to me, and then I could go ahead and flip it around and probably, sell it to other people who are looking to make a quick purchase to craft an item or something like that. So in the last part of this, I want to tell you some things that I did to make quite a bit of gold. So looking at this, the best items that I have found, and some things that's going to set you up in the late game, is this item right here. It is called Loamy Lodestone. It is basically used to make void blocks, which is a high stone cutting material. Everyone will be wanting this resource as soon as they hit that, because it is used to make each and every end game tuning orb. So you need this. This comes from Earth Crag, and you get 1. Every time you do Earth Crag, you get 1. So this is a very interesting material to kind of place up there. So if you can get a buy order up for that for cheap, you might be able to pick that up from some players that maybe they don't exactly know what that is, or maybe they have excess of it because they've been farming a bunch of Earth Crag. But that's something you may want to go for, so that would be a good go-to. You can also try your hand with certain ingredients like strawberries and cranberries and things like that, because a lot of those town boards require certain like produce materials that are really hard to get, and not a lot of people know where to get these things. So if you do know where to get strawberries, which is in the north of Everfall in this farm right here, there's a boatload of strawberries all over here. So if you know where to get those, you can place those on the auction house, and some people might buy those at like 10 gold a piece just so that they complete their quests. Because remember, everyone's getting a large influx of gold, but they're not exactly sure like how to spend that gold, right? So if I look at strawberry right here, I can see that in Everfall no one's selling it, but everywhere else it's selling for 45 a piece, right? So this is a ridiculous amount. I don't think anybody's going to buy strawberries at 45 a piece, but if I were to place strawberries up for, I don't know, 10 gold each, then that might make sense, because I can go out to that field in north of Everfall and get like 70 strawberries in like 5 minutes, and then come back here and sell each of those for 10 a piece, and then boom, that's 700 gold, right, into my pocket, which is a lot. That's almost 1/5 of the way there towards a full price beginner level house. And so you could see how that could go pretty easy for you. But I wouldn't focus on one thing. I would focus on a lot of things. So like things people will want: feathers. They're always going to want this because it's used for town board turn-ins. It's used for arrows. Same with flint. It's used for bullets. It's used for town board turn-ins, and people are going to want a lot of this. They're going to be lazy. They don't want to collect that. They don't want to go out and collect little rocks. They don't want to go out and collect feathers. So you can make some money off of that. Potions is also a really nice thing to do. You can dip into that gear category, but just remember that the only gear that will probably be selling is gear that is around the level range of where your server's at, right? So if most people are level 20, they're going to be buying level 20 gear, and they're probably not going to be buying gear that's much higher than that, right? Other than that, you have the basic resources. So wood is also something that can sell, because most of the time people are just like, I really don't want to go out and chop a tree. I just don't want to do it right now. Some of the more rare resources are better to do, especially like iron and stuff like that, because iron is very hard to get. It is highly contested, and it has very few spawns. So people are going to really not want to have to go out and get that over and over again for these town boards. So they're going to be wanting to buy some of these materials, especially like coarse leather and linen and sateen, because these are all used for like bags, creating bags and things of that nature, which also leads into like one of the bigger markets on the auction house right now, which is basically tools and bags. So if you take a look at like, let's say star metal, what is it called, harvesting sickle. Yeah, if I were to take a look at this, I will go ahead and sort by all settlements, so it's not just there. So you can see here that a single star metal harvesting sickle looks like the lowest price is 900 gold. So if you could go out and gather a little bit of star metal and you work on your engineering, you can sell this tool for quite a lot. You can also place a buy order for those. If you want to try to min-max them, you can do that. But another thing that you can do would be bags as well. I know that bags sell for quite a lot. So if we look at bags at my level, this is the rugged leather bag. All of these bags are 1.5k, 1.2k, 2k. And the price probably varies based on the perks that they have, because some bags can have like luck. Like this one, for example, has 1.5% chance of rare items of monsters and chests. So this is a really nice bag to have. I myself have one of them. So if you do create a bag, you can kind of, make something really good and sell it for quite a bit of money, because everyone needs these bags, especially when you hit level 30, you unlock a slot, and when you hit level 45, you unlock a new one. Well, I actually just unlocked one, so I'm going to be making another bag myself here in a second. So you can get those by just kind of going through the crafting station here, and you can kind of sort just by bag on the outfitter, and then you'll be able to see this material. So you can see here that it's going to require my choice of these materials, I can lower it down to kind of decrease the the score level here, which just, it makes it a little bit worse, but it might be better for me to do, as I will have more materials to craft it, or I just want to get it made, because it starts with that, base 150 encumbrance, which is always good. So I hope these few tips kind of help you look at the market and making gold, because you don't get enough gold just from questing. You kind of need to figure out some other avenues if you want these houses and things like that. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait till the late game. There are a lot of dungeons and expeditions in the late game where monsters give quite a lot of gold, but these, again, are all locked behind the tuning orbs, which are locked behind cooldowns. And there is a lot of other things that are locked beyond, like, daily cooldowns, like weekly cooldown, things like that for the tuning orbs, but also for the best in slot crafting materials. So you probably want to get going on that and get your gold up so that you can start making like good purchases towards the end game, and you don't have to deal with being broke all the time, right? So that's definitely an important thing to try to get going here. All right, so hope that helped everybody. If you did like the video, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. We also have a join button for members, so you can get access to perks and badges and emotes, so there's quite some cool stuff there. Be sure to check that out. We have a Discord as well, so if you're interested in reaching out to the community and talking with some like-minded players that are very passionate about New World, that is a great place to go. You will also be able to find me there and ask me any questions personally if you want. Other than that, we will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.